channel, my friends. I am so happy you are here today because what I am about to share can truly change the way you speak English forever. Let me ask you, have you ever been in a conversation and you know exactly what you want to say, but your brain feels like it's moving through mud? First you think in your own language, caned. Then you translate into English. Then you try to speak. And by the time the words come out, the moment has already passed. It's frustrating, right? What if I told you there is a way to skip that translation step completely? A way to train your brain to think directly in English. Fast, natural, and confident, just like native speakers do. No more slow answers. No more, wait, how do I say this? Moments. In this video, I'm going to give you simple, powerful tips you can use every single day so English becomes your first thought. Ding, not your second. By the end, you'll have a clear step-by-step plan to make your brain work in English without effort. And once you start, you will never want to stop, because speaking will finally feel easy. Chapter E. Why thinking in English changes everything, my friends. Before we dive into techniques, I need to tell you something important. Fluency is not just about vocabulary and grammar. You can memorize thousands of words. You can know all the grammar rules. But if your brain still thinks in your native language first, you will always feel slow, stuck, and unsure when speaking English. It's like owning a sports car but keeping the parking brake on. The engine is powerful, but it can't go anywhere fast. The step. Delay problem. Here's what happens to most English learners who think in their native language. I call it the step delay, Hear English. Someone says, "What did you do last weekend?" Trandwick to native language. You quickly turn those words into your own language so you can understand. Son, think of answer in native language. You decide what you want to say, but in your language. Don zick back to English. You try to find the right English words to match your thought. By the time you finally speak, there's a pause. Sometimes the other person repeats the question. Sometimes the moment just passes. And you feel frustrated, even though you know the words. Example E, ordering at a restaurant. You read at a cafe. The waiter says, "Can I get you something to drink?" If you're retranslating in your head, the process is, Step E, translate. Can I get you something to drink? To your native language. Step R, think. I want a lemonade. Step San. Translate that back to English. Finally, you say, "I want a lemonade." But the delay makes you feel a little slow. Now imagine thinking directly in English. You hear, "Can I get you something to drink?" And your brain instantly says, "Yes, I want a lemonade." You speak right away. No pause. No stress. Example are: friend S joke. A friend tells a joke in English. If you translate each word into your language first, you get the meaning a few seconds late. Everyone else is laughing, and you smile awkwardly, wishing you could join in. But if you think directly in English, you understand instantly and laugh with the group. Oh. You re-part of the moment, not watching from the outside. Gore example sen teacher S question. In class, the teacher asks, "What is your opinion about this topic?" If you think in your native language, you translate the question. Think of your answer, then translate it back, all while the teacher waits and your classmates look at you. The pressure makes your mind go blank, but if you rethinking in English, you just answer naturally, like you having a normal conversation. A student's transformation story. Let me tell you about my student, Amir from Egypt. He studied English for years. He could write essays, pass grammar tests, and knew a lot of vocabulary. But in conversation, he struggled. No, he told me, I always feel like I am two seconds behind. I know the words, but I am translating all the time. I gave him one challenge. For censor days, stop translating. Instead, he had to think in English as much as possible. While walking, cooking, even brushing his teeth. Describe what he saw, what he felt, what he planned to do. All in English, even if no one was listening. The first week it was hard. His sentences were simple, sometimes broken. But by week 3, something amazing happened. A company worker asked him, "Did you finish the report?" And Amir answered instantly, "Yes. I sent it to your email this morning." He told me later, "I didn't think about the grammar. I didn't translate. It just came out." That was his breakthrough. His confidence grew, and now he joins meetings, talks with clients, and even jokes in English. Why thinking in English works. When you think in English, you remove the translation step. That means you answer faster. You sound more natural. You feel more confident. It's like switching from walking in heavy boots to running in light sneakers. Suddenly, every step is easier. And because you not forcing your native grammar into English, your sentences start to feel right without overthinking. Imagine this. Picture yourself in New York, sitting in a coffee shop. The person next to you says, "Hey, is this seat taken?" Without thinking, you smile and reply, "No, go ahead." They ask, "So, what brings you to the city?" And you answer smoothly, "I am here on vacation. I've always wanted to visit." No pause. No, wait. Moments. The conversation flows, and you feel comfortable, even excited, to keep talking. That S. What happens when you train your brain to think in English? It's not about being perfect, it's about being ready. Your takeaway from Chapter E. Knowing English words and grammar is important, but it's not enough. Real fluency begins when your brain lives in English. When you stop translating, you start communicating. From this point forward, think of every English conversation as a chance to practice this. Don't wait until you feel ready. The readiness comes from doing it. In the next chapter, I will show you exactly how to start thinking in English, even if you've never done it before. This version is around T-bite Arthur swords, long enough to explain the concept deeply, short enough to keep a viewer's attention. Chapter R. Start small. Think in single words. When people start learning English, they often feel pressure. Pressure to speak in long sentences. Pressure to be perfect from the first day. Pressure to sound like a native speaker. But I want to tell you a secret. You don't need full sentences in the beginning. You don't. In fact, trying to make full sentences too early can slow you down. Why? Because your brain is busy with too many jobs at once. Thinking, translating, arranging grammar, choosing the right words, all at the same time. Instead, I want you to start small, really small. One word at a time. Why single words work. When you think in single words, something amazing happens. Your brain starts building a direct connection between the thing and the English word. No translation in the middle. For example, if you see an apple, don't think apple. In my language, it is insert your language word. Now translate to English. Apple. No. Skip that middle step. See the apple, think apple. That it. No other words. No sentences. Just apple. The more you do this, the faster your brain will go from object, English word, without translation. And that lasts the foundation of thinking in English. Daily words you already know. You already know many words in English. Use them. Here are a few simple: eat, walk. Read, sleep, apple, happy, music. Start using these words in your head every day. If you are eating breakfast, think eat. If you are walking to work, think walk. If you see a book, think read. When you feel good, think happy. When music is playing, think music. You're not making sentences yet. Just replacing your mother tongue with a single English word in your thoughts. The R-minute look around and name everything game. This is my favorite activity, and it works so well. Here's what you do. Look around the room you're in right now. R. For 2 minutes. Say in your mind or out loud the name of everything you see in English. Example, table, chair, window, cup, phone, bag. If you don't know a word, stop for a second, look it up, and then continue. Do this once a day. 2 minutes is all you need. You will be surprised how quickly you start thinking in English without trying. Why this works better than translation. When you translate, there is a delay. Your brain first understands the word in your language, then changes it to English. Who? But with the single word method, there's no delay. Your brain starts storing English words as the first meaning, not the second. It's like teaching your brain a new shortcut. Instead of kiddo object, mother tongue English word you go, object, English word. And that S exactly how native speakers think. No translation, just direct meaning. Do it anytime, anywhere the best part? You don't need a classroom. You don't need a book. You can do this while walking down the street, cooking dinner, brushing your teeth waiting for a bus, shopping in a market. If you re-walking and see a tree, think tree. If you re-cooking and cutting onions, think onion. If you re-brushing your teeth, think brush. The more you repeat, the more automatic it becomes. Your mini challenge, today, for the next RC hours. I want you to do this, no? Whenever you see something you know in English, say the word in your head in English immediately. Not later. Not after thinking in your language. Immediately. If you do this every day, you will notice something powerful in a few weeks. Your brain will start choosing English automatically. Even when you're not trying, and that, my friend, is the first step to truly thinking in English. In the next chapter, we'll take this even further. You'll learn how to connect these single words into small, loam, simple phrases, without fear, without grammar stress, and without translation. But for now, keep it simple, one word at a time, because every big journey in English begins with a single word. Chapter 10. Connect words into short sentences. When you know single words in English, it's like having bricks. Bricks are strong, they are useful. But if you don't join them together, you cannot build a house. Yet words are the same. A single word can help you. But if you want to speak, really speak, you need to connect those words. Today, we will take your single words and turn them into small sentences. Not long, difficult sentences. Just artisan words. Short, clear, easy. And when you do this, something amazing will happen. Your mind will start thinking in English faster. I still remember my first time doing this. I knew the word eat. I also knew the word I. One day, my teacher said, "Don T, just say eat. Say I eat." It was simple, but I felt different. It was not just a word anymore. It was a complete thought. You can do the same. Here. How. Take any word you know and add one more word to make a short sentence. Let me show you. From words to short sentences. Word, eat, sentence, I eat. Word, run sentence, dog runs. Word, smile sentence, she smiles, see? You are not learning new words right now. You are using what you already know, but in a more powerful way. Now, let us make this more real. Look around you right now. What is happening? What can you see, hear, or feel? describe it in a short sentence. If you have water near you, maybe you can say, I drink. If you hear a sound outside, you can say, bird sings. Car moves. If you hear a sound outside, car moves, misty. Car moves. If you are sitting, you can say, I sit. Dubzio spike moment. Let us practice. Together, pause this video right now. Yes, stop watching for Urser seconds. Look around. Think of 3 short sentences about something you just did or something you see now. Say them aloud. Example, I stand. R. Door opens, san. Wind blows. When you say them, don't think too much. Just connect words and speak. The magic is in the speed. When you practice short sentences, your brain learns to connect words without stress. You don't need to worry about big grammar rules right now. You just talk, and over time these little connections will grow into bigger ones. Let us. Imagine something. You wake up in the morning. Instead of thinking in your own language first, you try to describe your actions in English. Short, quick sentences. I wake. I sit. I yawn. I drink water. Sun shines. It's like talking to yourself in English, but very, very simply. We. Be. At first, it may feel strange. You might think this is too easy. But trust me, this easy practice is the seed of fluency. Every time you connect 2 or 3 words, you train your brain to see English as a tool, thou, not a school subject. When I first tried this, I noticed something. After a few weeks, my thoughts started to come in English without asking. I would see a bus and think bus moves. I would see my friend smile and think, he laughs. I didn't translate from my language anymore. It just happened. Here's a little challenge for you. For one day, try to make our short sentences. You can say them in your mind or aloud. Describe what you see, hear, or feel. If you are cooking, water boils. If you are outside, wind blows. If you are walking, I walk. Do this every day, and you will see the change. Your mouth will move faster. Your mind will connect words faster. And soon, short sentences will become long sentences. Naturally. Remember, fluency does not start with big words. It starts with small steps. When a child learns to speak, they don't say, I am going to the kitchen to drink a glass of water. They say, I drink. I go. Later, it becomes bigger. The same will happen with you. So start now. Connect your words. Speak short sentences. And let your English grow, one small connection at a time. If you want, I can also prepare chapter 4, where we expand these short sentences into 4-word sentences, naturally without stress. Pon. So the lesson keeps building step by step. Chapter 2. Create mini stories in your mind my friends. Now that you can think in single words and connect them into short sentences, it's time to make your English feel alive. We will do that with mini stories. Ek. A mini story is not long, not difficult, and not perfect. It is simply a small group of sentences that describe what is happening, where it is happening, when it is happening, and why it is happening. I call this the what, where, when, why method. These 4 parts are like 4 small lights that help your brain see the full picture in English. When you turn on all 4 lights, your mind stops jumping back to your native language. It stays inside the story. That is the goal, to let your brain stay in English longer, comfortably, and with less effort. Let me show you how simple this is. Start with the what. This is just one action or one thing that is happening. For example, I eat, or I read, or I walk. Now add the where. Where does this happen? I eat at my desk. I read on the bus. I walk in the park. Now add the when. When does it happen? I eat at my desk at noon. I read on the bus in the morning. Kate, I walk in the park after dinner. Finally, add the why. Why does this happen, or how do you feel? I eat at my desk at noon because I have a busy day. I read on the bus in the morning because it calms my mind. I walk in the park after dinner because I want fresh air. Do you see the shape of the story? We started with 2 words and ended with a little story that your brain can picture clearly. Let's build one step by step together, so you feel it in your mouth and in your mind. Start with the what. I open the window. Now the where. I open the window in the kitchen. Now the when. I open the window in the kitchen every morning. Now the why. I open the window in the kitchen every morning because I love fresh air and sunlight. Read it one more time, slowly, and imagine it. You can almost hear the window slide. You can feel the cool air. Your brain is inside the scene, and it is using English to live inside that scene. Clumper. This is how mini stories train your mind to think directly in English. Try another one with me. What? I study. Where? I study at the small table. When? I study at the small table at night. You know why? I study at the small table at night because the house is quiet and I can focus. Or one more, even simpler. What? I call my mother. Where? I call my mother on the balcony. When? I call my mother on the balcony every Sunday afternoon. Why? I call my mother on the balcony every Sunday afternoon because I miss her and the view makes me calm. Notice how the feelings inside the why make the story stronger and easier to remember. Your brain loves emotion. When you add feelings to your English, your memory becomes deeper and your thinking becomes faster. Here is a gentle rule to keep everything easy. Keep your sentences short, but keep your pictures clear. You do not need complex grammar. You do not need big words. You just need the 4 anchors: what, where, when, why. If one day you only remember 3, that is fine too. Maybe you say what, where, and when, and you forget why. No problem. The habit is more important than perfection. Over time, the 4 parts will come naturally, and you will add small details without thinking about rules. That is the secret of fluency. The language grows by itself when the habit is strong. When the habit is strong. Now comes your spike moment. I want you to close your eyes for a second and imagine a beach. The sun is warm. The sky is wide and blue. The water moves in slow waves. Children laugh and run. A kite flies high. You hold a cold bottle of water in your hand. Now make your mini story. Start with the what, I sit, or I walk, or I drink. Add the where, on the beach, near the water, under the umbrella. Oh. Add the when, this afternoon, at sunset, on the weekend. Add the why, because I want to relax, because the sound of the waves makes me happy. Un warble forced. Because I am resting after a long week. Say your story out loud right now. For example, I sit on the beach this afternoon because the sound of the waves makes me happy. Or, I walk near the water at sunset because I want to clear my mind. Feel how calm and natural it is to stay in English. When the picture is strong, let us try a second scene. A park in the evening. The grass is green. People jog. A dog chases a ball. A small fountain makes a soft sound. Lights turn on one by one. What will you say? Maybe I walk in the park in the evening because the air is cool. Or I read on the bench after work because the quiet helps me think. Or I listen to music near the fountain at 7 because I need to relax. Again, the picture holds your brain in English. Ang. There is no space for translation. Your mind is busy living the moment in English. One more scene, a cozy cafe. Warm lights. The smell of coffee. Soft music. People talk in low voices. A barista smiles. Your cup is warm in your hands. Build your story. What? I. Right. Where? In the cafe. When? In the morning. Why? Why? Because the sound of cups and voices gives me energy. Or, I learn new words in the cafe at Joe A.M. Because the coffee helps me focus. These little moments are powerful. They are short, but they are complete. And complete thoughts, no matter how small, train your brain to move in English without stopping. You might ask, why do mini stories help more than single sentences? Because a story gives context. Context is like a map for the mind. With a map, you know where to go next. When you use what, where, when, while your brain sees the path from one idea to the next. This smooth path keeps your thoughts in English for longer. Also, stories repeat the same small words again and again. prepositions like in, on, at, time words like morning, night, today, feeling words like happy, tired, calm, and repetition. In a story is gentle. It does not feel like homework, but it teaches your mind the rhythm of real English. Re-werf. Here is a simple plan you can follow today. Choose 3 moments in your day and make a mini story for each. Morning. Describe one action with the 4 parts. Afternoon. Describe one action with the 4 parts. Night. Describe one action with the 4 parts. Keep it short, honest, and personal. For example, morning, I make tea in the kitchen at Chi because hot tea wakes me up. Afternoon, I answer emails at my desk after lunch because I want a clear inbox. Night, I stretch on the floor before bed because my back feels tight. If you do this every day for 1 week, you will notice that English appears faster in your mind. You will not search for words as much. Your mouth will start to move sooner. Your sentences will connect without pain. If you want to push yourself a little more, tell the same mini story in the past and the future, still keeping it simple. Today, I walk in the park at 6 because I need fresh air. Yes, yesterday, I walked in the park at 6 because I needed fresh air. Tomorrow, I will walk in the park at 6 because I will need fresh air. You are not studying a grammar chart. You are just sliding your story across time. Your brain learns the pattern by feeling it, not by memorizing it. And that is how natural English grows. Remember, my friends, you do not need perfect grammar to make a picture. You need clear pictures to make your grammar grow. The what, where, when, why method gives you a strong frame. Inside that frame, your English can breathe. Start with 1 line today. Then add a 2nd line tomorrow. Soon, you will tell a story for 1 whole minute without stopping. And when you finish, you will smile because you did not translate. You lived the story in English. That is the shift we are building together, 1 small scene at a time. Chapter OOV. Surround yourself with English. When I first started learning English, I thought my biggest problem was grammar. I thought, if I can just remember all the rules, I will be good. But grammar was not the real problem. The real problem was this. English was only a small part of my day. I studied it for 1 hour, maybe 2. And then I went back to my normal world, my native language. Hi. The moment I closed my notebook, English disappeared from my life. And when I came back the next day, I had to start again. One day, I met a friend who spoke English very well. Hang, I asked him, "How did you become so fluent?" He smiled and said, "I live inside an English bubble." I didn't he understand. "What is an English bubble?" I asked. "You know," he explained, "it's simple. I create times in my day where only English exists. I make a little world, just for a few minutes, where I listen, think, and even dream in English. No other language is allowed inside. At first, this sounded strange, but then I thought about children who grow up in English-speaking homes. They don't study English for only 1 hour. They hear it all the time, in the kitchen, on TV, when playing games, when talking to friends. They hear it all the time, when playing games, when talking to friends. That's why they don't translate, they just speak. So I decided to try it. I started small. I changed my phone language to English. At first, it was a little hard. I didn't always understand the words in the settings. But something amazing happened. My eyes began to recognize common English words without thinking. Delete, save, update. I didn't need to translate them anymore. Then, I changed the music I listened to. I made a playlist with songs in English. I didn't understand every word, but I started to feel the rhythm of the language. I caught small phrases, like I miss you or hold on. They stayed in my mind without any effort. Next, I replaced my background noise with English podcasts. I didn't choose difficult topics. Sometimes I listened to simple stories, sometimes to short news in slow English. Even if my mind was busy, my ears were training. When I watched videos or movies, I turned on English subtitles. At first, I used them to understand, but later, I used them to match the sounds with the written words. I realized that hearing and reading at the same time made my brain faster. Slowly, my English bubble grew. It started with WOV minutes a day, then shoe minutes, then sensor minutes. The more I lived inside that bubble, the less I needed to translate in my head. English began to feel normal. One important thing I learned, your bubble doesn't have to be big to work. Muck. Even a short time every day makes a difference, but you must be strict. No native language during your bubble time. So here's a challenge for you. Today, create a minute English bubble. Choose something simple, maybe watch a short video in English. Maybe read a small article or listen to a podcast. But here's the rule. No translation. No switching back to your language. Stay inside the bubble. Let your brain swim in English. When you do this every day, something magical happens. At first, your brain will fight you. It will want to translate everything. But after a while, it will stop trying so hard. English will start to enter directly. Words will connect to feelings, not translations. You will begin to think in English, even for short moments. This is how immersion works. It's not about moving to another country. It's about bringing the language into your world. So, your brain starts to believe that English is important for your daily life. Think about it. Your brain is like a sponge. If you put it in water for 1 minute, it will get a little wet. But if you leave it in water all day, it will be completely full. Ting. Your English bubble is that water. The more you live in it, the more fluent you become. And here's the best part. Once you get used to your English bubble, you can make it bigger without extra effort. You'll start thinking, why not listen to an English podcast while cooking, or why not read the news in English? Step by step, your bubble will surround your day. One day, you will realize something beautiful. English is no longer a subject you study. It's simply a part of your life, and that in fluency starts to feel natural. Chapter Lu. Describe your day in English. Let me tell you something powerful. You don't need to travel to another country. You don't need a native teacher. You don't even need a big English textbook. You already have the best English teacher with you every day. It's your life. Yes, your own daily life is your biggest English lesson. The secret is this: when you describe your day in English, from the moment you wake up until the moment you sleep, you train your mind to live in English. The moment you wake up, imagine this: you open your eyes in the morning. Before you look at your phone, before you talk to anyone, you speak one sentence in English. You can say, I woke up. The sun is shining. I feel sleepy. Simple words. Small sentences. But they are in English. This is how you plant English in your mind first thing in the morning. Now, you move to your next action. Maybe you go to the bathroom. Say in English, I am brushing my teeth. Say in English, I am brushing my teeth. The water is cold. You're not just doing your routine. You are thinking your routine in English. Real-time practice. Do it with me now. Let us walk through your day together. Right now, I want you to think about the last thing you did. If you just made tea, say, I made tea. If you are still drinking, say, I am drinking tea. If you were reading before watching this video, say, I was reading. See what we redoing? We are turning your real life into English sentences. Morning routine example. Let's say my morning looks like this. I wake up at a.m. I stretch my arms. I drink a glass of water. I brush my teeth. I wash my face. I make breakfast. I eat an egg and bread. I drink coffee. That's it. 8 simple actions. And guess what? I just made 8 English sentences without a book, without grammar lessons. They are about my life, so I will remember them. You know why it works. When you describe your day in English, you are not learning random words. You relearning your words. Words that are connected to your life. Your mind keeps them longer because they are real. It's like learning the word toothbrush when you're actually holding your toothbrush. It sticks. And here is the best part. You don't need extra time for this. You are already living your day. You are already cooking, walking, traveling, cleaning, working. All you do is add English to what you are already doing. Commute example. If you go to work or school, describe it. Say, I am waiting for the bus. The bus is crowded. I am walking to school. The road is busy. Do you see? You can practice English even in traffic. Cooking example. When you are in the kitchen, speak out loud. Say, I am washing the rice. I am cutting vegetables. The water. Say, I am washing the rice. I am cutting vegetables. The water's is boiling. The water is boiling. The smell is nice. Your kitchen becomes your English class. Exercise example. When you exercise, speak. Say, I am running. My legs are tired. I am lifting weights. You are training your body and your English at the same time. How repetition helps. The more you do this, the less you need to think. At first, you might translate from your language to English. But after some days, you won't translate. You will just think in English. It's like walking. When you were a baby, walking was difficult. You had to think about every step. Now you walk without thinking. English will become like that if you describe your day every day. A small daily challenge for you. Starting today, I want you to speak 3 English sentences every morning about your day. Tomorrow make it 5. Next week make it 10. And don't worry if your sentences are simple. Simple English is still English. Bashan, if you want, Djar, Ashos. I can also give you a list of Wizard's Daily Routine English sentences so you can use them immediately without searching. That way you will never be stuck thinking. What should I say next? Do you want me to prepare that list for you? Chapter Chi, Practice Silent Speaking. Sometimes, the best practice happens when no one hears you. Not when you are in class. Not when you are speaking to a friend. Not even when you are recording yourself. It happens in your head. This is what I call silent speaking. It means you speak English in your mind without using your mouth. No sound. No audience. No fear. You can do it anywhere. On a bus, waiting in line, lying in bed before you sleep. It is private. It is free. And it is powerful. When I was a student, I often took a crowded bus to school. It was noisy. People were talking. The bus engine was loud. And sometimes I didn't feel like practicing out loud. But I didn't waste that time. I started talking in English inside my head. I looked out the window and said silently to myself, I see a small shop on the corner. The shop is yellow. A man is walking past the shop. Nobody heard me. But my brain was working. I was training my English thinking. This is why silent speaking is so good. You. No pressure. You are not worried about mistakes. No one is judging you. You can focus on the words, the ideas, the flow. Speed training. You can think faster because there is no need to move your mouth. or wait for someone to respond. It's ASPS pure mental practice. Sun. Everywhere practice. You can do it in places where speaking out loud would feel strange or uncomfortable. Let us try a quick exercise right now. Look around you. Don't speak. Just watch. Now, silently, in your head, describe what you see. If you are in your room, maybe you say silently, "My desk is brown. There is a cup of tea next to my laptop. The window is open." If you are outside, maybe you think, "The sky is cloudy. Two children are playing. A dog is running." Keep going for 1 minute. No one hears you, but your brain is working in English. When you do this often, something amazing happens. You start thinking in English without forcing yourself. At first, you will have to translate from your language into English. That's normal. But the more you do silent speaking, the less you will translate. Your thoughts will come out in English naturally. It's like building a quiet English world in your mind. I want to share another moment from my own life. One night, I couldn't sleep. My eyes were closed, but my brain was awake. Instead of worrying about sleep, I started to imagine I was telling a story in English. In my head, I said, "Yesterday I went to the park. I saw many birds. The weather was warm." Then I added details. One bird had red feathers. Another bird was eating bread. Children were laughing. I didn't speak out loud, but I was practicing sentences, vocabulary, and description. The next day, when I spoke to a friend in English, some of those words came out easily because I had said them the night before in my head. How to make silent speaking a habit. You choose your time. Maybe when you are traveling, waiting, or before bed. Describe your world. Use simple sentences. What you see, hear, smell, feel. Tell short stories. Imagine you are explaining your day to a friend. Play with words. If you don't know a word, try to describe it in another way. Silent speaking is like invisible exercise for your brain. No one sees it, but the results are real. You are teaching your mind to be comfortable in English without the stress of performance. Do it often, and you will notice. When you finally speak out loud, the sentences will already be ready in your head. So next time you read on a bus, waiting in line, or lying in bed, don't just wait. Speak silently. Let English live in your thoughts. Your fluency will grow quietly, but powerfully. If you want, I can now also write the final call to action for this chapter that invites the viewer to try silent speaking immediately. That will make the lesson feel complete and ready for your video. Do you want me to add that next? Chapter bot learn thinking phrases, not just words. When I first started learning English, I thought I needed to know every single word. I carried a small notebook in my pocket. Every time I heard a new word, I wrote it down. My notebook was full of words, hundreds of them. But there was a problem. I could say the words, but I could not make sentences quickly. If someone asked me, "What are you doing this weekend?" I had to stop and think weekend. Doing I? My brain felt slow. Then one day, I learned something that changed my English forever. You know, a teacher told me, stop learning words one by one. Learn phrases. Learn chunks. Learn groups of words that live together. At first, I didn't understand, but then she gave me an example. She said, instead of learning just the word you going, learn the whole phrase. I am going to. She told me to fill the blank. I am going to eat lunch. I am going to visit my friend. I am going to read a book. Suddenly, my brain didn't have to work so hard. The first 3 words, I'm going to, were ready. I only had to add the ending. Think about it like this. When you cook, you don't start from scratch every time. You have recipes. You know the steps. You don't have to think about each small movement. You just follow the pattern. English phrases are like recipes for sentences. They save you time. They make your speaking automatic. Here are some powerful thinking phrases you can start using right now. You know it? I am going to, I feel, son, let, see can I, woo, I need to, lo, I don't want to, chi, it's time to, ba. What do you think about? Jill. I am not sure if, sure, I hope. These phrases are like little trains. The first part, the engine always stays the same. The rest of the sentence, the train cars, can change depending on what you want to say. For example, I feel happy. I feel tired. I feel ready for my trip. Or, let us watch a movie. Let us take a walk. Let us study together. When you use these phrases every day, they become natural. You don't have to translate in your head. You don't have to think word by word. Your brain starts to think in English patterns. Why this works better than word translation. When you learn one word at a time, your brain must build the sentence from zero every time. It's like putting together a puzzle without a picture. Slow. Frustrating. But when you learn a phrase, your brain already has part of the puzzle ready. You only add the last piece. That is why fluent speakers sound fast. They are not thinking about every single word. They are using ready-made chunks, practice time, repeat after me. Let us do it together right now. I'll say the phrase, you repeat after me. I'm going to, you repeat. I feel, you repeat. Let us. You repeat, can I? You repeat, I need to. You repeat, good. Now we will make sentences. I will give you the start. You finish it, I'm going to your turn. I feel. Your turn. Let us. Your turn. Can I? Your turn, I need to. Your turn. This is how you train your brain to think in English. Daily habit. Pick Wu phrases today. Write them on a small paper or in your phone. During the day, use them. When you wake up, I feel sleepy. When you eat, I'm going to finish my breakfast. When you call a friend, let us meet later. The more you use them, the more natural they become. After 1 week, you will notice you speak faster. After 1 month, you will notice you don't translate anymore. You just speak. I'll tell you a secret. Every fluent speaker you know is not thinking about grammar rules all the time. They are using patterns, phrases. They have repeated so many times that they don't need to think. So today, stop worrying about learning e-byte new words. Start learning Wu new phrases and use them times each. That's how fluency grows. Be at your turn. Take one of these phrases, just one, and write Wu sentences with it. Say them out loud. Feel the rhythm. Tell me in the comments which phrase you chose and one sentence you made. And remember, speak every day. Not word by word, but phrase by phrase. That is how your English becomes natural. If you want, I can also create the full Shu chapter script where this chapter fits perfectly, so it flows naturally with the others. One mores, That way, your audience will get a complete, connected learning journey. Would you like me to prepare that next? Chapter Joe. Think in English about your interests. I want you to imagine something with me. Close your eyes for just a second and think about the things you truly enjoy. Maybe it's playing football. Maybe it's cooking delicious food. Maybe it's listening to music, reading about travel, or even taking photos. Now, here's the question. Do you ever connect these things to English? You see, when we talk about English learning, many people think of grammar books, big vocabulary lists, and long lessons. That's okay. But it's not the only way. The most powerful way to make English stay in your mind is to connect it to your interests. The things that make you smile, the things that make you curious, the things that make time disappear. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I met a young man named Sammy. Sammy loved cooking. He could spend hours in the kitchen trying new recipes. But his English? Not very strong. He had no time to study. He thought he had no time to study. One day, I gave him a small challenge. Every time you watch a cooking video, watch it in English. Every recipe you read it in English. Don't just cook. Cook in English. At first, he thought it was strange. But after a few weeks, he noticed something magical. He started remembering cooking words: boil, chop, stir, fry, taste, without even trying. He didn't sit down to memorize them. He learned them because he loved cooking. That's the secret. When you connect English to your passions, your brain works harder for you. It's like putting your learning on autopilot. Let less talk about how you can do the same. Step E. Choose your interest. Pick one thing you enjoy, not something you think is good for learning. No, something that makes your heart feel light. If you love football, choose football. If you love drawing, choose drawing. If you love music, choose music. When you learn English through something you already love, you feel motivated. You not forcing yourself. You re-enjoying yourself. Step R. Surround yourself with English in that topic. If you like sports, watch sports news or interviews in English. If you like cooking, read recipes in English. If you like travel, watch travel vlogs in English. If you like music, read the artist biography or interviews in English. At first, you may not understand everything. That's normal. Normal. Don, T-stop. Your brain is collecting new words like little treasures. Step Sen. Speak or write about it in English. After you watch or read something in English about your interest, talk about. Even if you only use simple sentences, it's okay. For example, I like football. My favorite player is Messi. He plays for Inter Miami. I watch his games every week. He is very fast. I love cooking. I made pasta today. It was easy. I boiled water, cooked pasta, and added sauce. It was delicious. See? Short, clear, and personal. Step C. Why it works so well. When you care about the topic, your brain remembers the words faster. It's like taking a photo in your mind. If you love music, and you hear the word guitar in English, Brahmangs, your brain connects it to the sound of guitar. You already enjoy. If you love travel, and you hear airport or hotel, your brain connects it to the excitement of visiting new places. This connection makes the words stick. You don't forget them easily because they are tied to feelings, not just letters on a page. Step U. Make it a habit. This is not something you do once and stop. Every day, give your interest a little English touch. One English video, one English article, one English conversation about your passion. Over time, you'll see that your English grows without heavy pressure. Now, I have a little challenge for you, something to make this lesson real right now. Pick one hobby or interest. Think about it for a few seconds. Now, write 5 sentences in English about it. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to be yours. Example. I love playing guitar. R. I practice every evening. Sun. My favorite song is very slow and soft. S. I want to play in front of people one day. Woo. Music makes me happy. See? Simple, but powerful. When you write your 5 sentences, you are making English part of your world, not just your study time. So today, I want you to start thinking in English about your interests. Watch videos about them in English. Read about them in English. Talk about them in English. Because when English is connected to something you love, you don't just learn it. You live it. Chapter Shoe. Make it a daily habit. Think of learning English like watering a small plant. If you give it a little water every day, it grows. But if you forget for a week and then pour a whole bucket, it struggles. Your English is that plant. It doesn't need hours every day. It needs small, regular care. Many learners believe they must study for 1 hour, 2 hours, posti, or even more, each time. So they wait for the perfect day when they have enough time. But that perfect day comes rarely, and when it does, they study a lot, and then stop for a long time. The truth is simple: 5 to 10 minutes every single day is better than one long session once a week. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I met a man named Amir. He wanted to speak English, but he was busy. He had a job, a family, and no extra time. So he decided to do something small, just 5 minutes every morning while drinking his tea. He read one short English paragraph aloud and tried to understand 2 new words. That was all. At first, he felt it was too small, but he stayed with it. 5 minutes turned into a habit, and after 6 months his reading speed improved. He could speak more easily. It wasn't a magic. It was daily care. So, how do you make English a daily habit? The secret is to connect it with something you already do. This is called a habit trigger. Think about your morning coffee. Could you read one English sentence before the first sip? Think about your commute to work. Could you listen to a short English audio while you travel? Think about bedtime. Could you write one small sentence in your English diary before you sleep? When you connect learning English to something you already do, leindes, it becomes natural, like brushing your teeth. Another important thing is to keep it light. Your goal is not to finish a big grammar book in one day. Nar. Your goal is to touch English every single day. Even short contact with English tells your brain, this language is important. Keep it active. Now, let us do a little exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. It is 6 months from now. You are sitting in a cafe. Someone asks you a question in English. You smile. You answer without stopping to translate in your head. The words just come. You feel relaxed, confident, and free. This future is not far away. It is built by the small actions you take today, tomorrow, and the next day. Here's what I want you to remember. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Small steps taken daily lead to big changes over time. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to start. Many learners say, I will start when I have more time. Or, I will start when I feel ready. But that day never comes. If you wait until you feel ready, you might wait forever. So, don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for January Saint. Don't wait for a better time. Start today. Right now, you can take one tiny action. Read this paragraph aloud. Mainde. Write one sentence in English or learn one new word. If you build this habit, something magical will happen. You will stop thinking of English as study and start seeing it as a part of your life. And when that happens, fluency will grow naturally, like a plant that is watered every day. Remember Amir? 6 months after starting his 5-minute tea routine, he told me, "I don't even think about whether I have time now. English is just part of my morning, like sugar in my tea. That's what I want for you. Not a struggle, but a flow. So, make English your daily guest. Invite it in for just a few minutes every day. Let it become part of your morning, your evening, your journey, your laughter. Over time, you'll look back and realize those few minutes changed everything now. It's your turn, my friends. You've learned many powerful ways to train your brain to think in English, but knowledge alone won't to change anything. Action will. So today, right now, choose one of these tips and start. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for the perfect time. Your English brain can start growing today, even if you only give it 5 minutes. Tell me in the comments which tip you will try first. Will you start with single words, short sentences, or maybe creating a mini story? I'd love to read your answers and cheer you on, like this video, so more learners around the world can find it. Subscribe so you don't miss the next lesson, and share it with a friend who is also on their English journey. Remember, the sooner you start thinking in English, the sooner you'll speak it. Naturally, smoothly, and with confidence. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and I'll see you in the next video. Your English future starts now. Make today day one.